I can't sleep. Same for you too, huh? Well, I know right now we could probably watch TV or something, but maybe we should tell each other stories. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea too. Me? I should tell a story? Oh, but I don't really know any nice fairy tales. I only know gruesome and dark stories. You want me to tell it anyway? Okay. So, there once was this girl. Her name was Wren. Wren was different. No, not like that. Wren was alone most of the time. She didn't have a lot of friends. People looked at her as if she was a monster. She was afraid of everyone around her, except for one boy. The way he smiled at her, the way he laughed, the way he looked at her made her heart soar. So she decided that every day she would put a note on his desk. Each note was just little things. I like your smile. You're so cute. You make me happy. Sweet things, kind things, things she never heard from anyone else. Things she wished that she heard on her own. But she believed she would never hear those things. So, every day, a note would appear on this boy's desk. Every day, he was starting to fall for the girl who wrote these nice things. He wanted to know who she was, what she was like. He guessed and guessed with his friends. Maybe it's this girl or this girl. But he wasn't sure exactly who it was. The girl would always hear conversations with him and his friends, trying to guess who it was. However, she never heard her name. But she wasn't upset by it. She was just happy to see his smile. And he even smiled at her. Oh, how her cheeks got red when he smiled at her. So kind and handsome he was. No, the girl was happy just as long as he smiled. At least that's what she believed. Dear Wren kept writing notes to him every single day and placing it on his desk, just so that he would smile. But the boy got more and more determined to find who the girl was. So he hatched a plan with his friends to catch the girl that kept giving him messages on his desk. Obviously, Ren was terrified. She believed that if he found out it was her, he would no longer smile and wouldn't see her the way she saw him. So she hatched a plan of her own. She asked one of her classmates, "Can you leave this message on the desk for me?" The classmate agreed. So, the next day, the boy caught the classmate putting the note on his desk. Overjoyed, finally finding the person who loved him so dearly, he asked her out right then and there. I mean, she was so beautiful, and she loved him, right? That's at least what he thought. That smile that Ren loved, was overjoyed by, suddenly made her feel heartbroken and filled with anger. She always told herself it didn't matter. It didn't matter that it was somebody else. She was just happy that he smiled. That's what she thought anyway. But she couldn't stop this raging fire inside her, this black hole that was swallowing everything around her. His smile, it was starting to disgust her, starting to make her sick. The notes she left on his desk were no longer of love, but of hatred. The boy was confused and scared because it was the same handwriting. Confused, he confronted his girlfriend. "How could you say such hurtful things?" he said to the classmate. "What do you mean?" the classmate asked. And the boy showed the hateful notes. Dark, hateful notes that Ren had put on his desk. And then he showed the loved notes, ones filled with admiration. They were the same handwriting, the same cute handwriting he had known to love and adore. He figured it was his girlfriend, the classmate that had put the notes on his desk and confessed. Angered by this, the classmate stormed off. Ren was distraught. She didn't know what she was doing. Seeing the boy's tears made her happy. Seeing his anger made her happy. She started to scrawl more hateful notes. More and more hate spilled from her heart, spilled from her pen. in the bathroom alone. She scrawled until her hands looked black from all the ink. And she felt happy. Suddenly, there was a pounding at the door. The girls grabbed her by her hair and yanked her from the stall. The classmate was angry because Ren was destroying her relationship. She was supposed to keep leaving those love notes so that he would never expect a thing, and her relationship would be happy. But instead, Ren was scrawling all these hateful notes on his desk, and she couldn't admit it wasn't her. She couldn't admit that it was Ren who always wrote those notes, because then the boy would be angry that she lied to him. Filled with the same hatred that Ren had for the boy, the classmate started to slap her, punch her, and rip her hair. How could you destroy my relationship like that? You were supposed to be good and just keep writing those stupid love letters that you always wrote to him. She confessed. Ren stayed quiet, no matter how much blood pooled from her nose, or how she couldn't see from one of her eyes being bruised so much. Then she finally spoke. I should have never asked you to do that. You've destroyed everything. The smile I used to love more than anything had been tainted by your relationship that was all based on a lie. If it wasn't for you, he'd be smiling at me right now. But I don't want him to smile at me, because it makes me sick. I just want to watch him scream and cry and fall apart like I feel. And Ren lost her mind. The poor girl had lost everything to her. Everyone else saw her as a monster, so she chose to be one. She took the classmate's head and slammed it against the mirror. Blood dripped from the girl's head. She staggered, gripping onto the porcelain sink, her vision blurred. Ren took her chance and started drowning the classmate in the sink. Ren started laughing uncontrollably, while her victim thrashed and squirmed, water splashing all over. The classmate's arm stopped flailing and ended up limp dead next to her body. Ren let go of her head. The sink was filled with red water. Ren, her mind broke, seeing the person she killed in front of her. She turned to run, but slipped and slammed her head against the same porcelain sink. Ren died from the head injury. The school was closed. It became abandoned. But Ren didn't stay dead. Ren's hatred grew into an evil. She became known as a ghost with a grudge. She figured it was all the boy's fault that her mind broke. So, as a ghost, she decided to follow him on the way home and left a note on his bedside table every night, filled with the same hatred she had. Terrified, the boy knew the same handwriting, but everyone told him that she was dead. There was no way that those notes could be appearing. It was probably someone playing a cruel joke on him. That was until one night she was standing by his bedside table and scrawling in his nightstand, "I hate you. I hate your stupid smile. It sickens me. I don't want to see it anymore." Into his nightstand table with a knife, he saw the dark entity, the same eyes, the same lips, the same hair, the same handwriting. That was all he saw. Because the next day, he was presumed dead. Why am I telling you this? You told me to tell you a story. You said it didn't matter, didn't you? But there's something about this story that if you write "I hate" or "smile" on a piece of paper at midnight, Ren will come. she'll grant you a wish. But it's for a price. Some have lost their lives. Some have lost their souls. Some have lost their minds. It all comes down to what you want and how much you're willing to pay for it. You want to summon Ren?